Upstate golf guys, here we go. Anthony Rogers steal the show. RGB Florida Mike on the scene. Hollywood Mikey living the dream. Eagle, birdie, par, bogey, fly. Swing that club, watch it sky. Lombardi putter shine so clean. Golfing addicts chasing the green. Scrounge up balls from trouble spots, off the tee or random plots. Long drive legend with a grin. Grip it, rip it, let's begin. We're the crew you can't outdrive. Golf obsession keeps us alive. Buzzing by in a golf cart spree. Talking swing, sipping iced tea. Eagle, birdie, par, bogey, fly. Swing that club, watch it sky. Lombardi putter shine so clean. Golfing addicts chasing the green.
And we are back for another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys podcast. Before we get things cooking, I just have to give a couple of my sponsors a shout out. Make sure you go check out 88links.com out. Shoe Dog has some awesome stuff from hats to shirts, some awesome golf gloves, ball markers, but most importantly, my guy has some amazing golf shoes out there. Super comfortable. He's been in the business making shoes for 50 years, and now he has his own company. Make sure you check him out, 88links.com, and use Upstate20 for a discount. And definitely check out my guy, TroubleOffTheTee.com as well. He has some amazing hats and apparel out there, but his hats are my favorite, from Never Lay Up to I'll Go Alone. And again, you could save yourself 20% if you use Upstate 20 at checkout. But tonight we have a really fun one, guys. Everybody knows that I am in the Golfweek Amateur Tour by now when you listen to me. We have a senior tour now in the Upstate, and we have the director here with us, Don Frame. Welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I appreciate the invite. It's been a tough chore here getting guys in this senior tour.
No, I know, man. I know it's a grind. Listen, like I always tell you, Rome was not built overnight. Same thing with this podcast, brother. Same thing with this podcast. But I want you to just tell the audience a little bit about this tour.
Well, it's actually organized. It's run by an organization out of Hilton Head, which is similar to the Golfweek tour that you play in, we all play in. And it takes place at great courses, private and public courses across upstate New York here. And each tournament, you get to win cash prizes, you get trophies, and you get to meet new people. And it's funny because a lot of the people that I've met just in this tour so far are guys I'm golfing with every day now. I mean, I had my own guys that I used to play with before, but you know, the new guys, all of a sudden I got a phone full of contacts, and every time I want to go out, all I got to do is drop text, and I've got 10 guys interested in heading out.
Same boat, Don. I literally had Mikey, the guy you saw in that opener, the guy with the beard. He was my one friend that I would go golfing with. And he'd be honest, hey, Mikey, you want to go golfing? Let's go golfing. A lot of times he had things going on. We all do. I had nobody, so I would go alone. It's shout out, Trouble Off the Tee. I would go golfing alone. And it's nice going golfing alone sometimes, but sometimes you want to go with that golf family. And I tell everybody, the Golfweek Amateur Tour put about 40 contacts on my phone, including you, if I want to go golfing, and it's great, man. So I tell everybody the tour is better than competitive golf. You create friends and lifelong family and friends. It's amazing, man. So now you said it's run out of Hilton Head, man. Is there
the major contributors in this, or it's kind of like I guess you could call it a franchise. I mean, it's run out of Hilton Head, and these guys have chapters all across the country.
Yep.
Senior side, just keep in mind, it says senior, but it's for 50 and up. And I know a lot of guys, a couple of the guys in the tour, when I said 50, they kind of looked at me and it's like, 50.
You know who's
I'm
50?
not really a senior yet. I said, look, guys, just trust me.
Honestly, you just caught my attention. And speaking of Mikey, he has a really hard time on tour competing. Even in D flight, he can't hit it a long way, but he just turned 50. I have to let Mikey know about this senior tour.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's great,
I'd
man.
say, I'd
Go ahead.
say I've actually got, I think I've got 18 or 19 guys in it right now. And easily half of them are golfers that played in the Golfweek tour, and
That's great.
it's the same old thing. People ask me all the time, how did you get involved in this? And I was like, well, I saw it online, and a buddy of mine, Dan, who's in the tour also,
Yep.
he talked me into, I play in a league with Dan over at Schenectady Muni.
Dan Gio, right?
Yeah.
Gio, I can't pronounce his long
Gio
last
Van
name.
Angelo is his last
Yeah,
name.
my man. Okay.
And he talked me into doing this, and I'll never forget it because the first tournament I played, this was back in 2022. It was
Yep.
actually the first tournament that they had up here in upstate New York for the Golfweek. I went out on the front nine at Saratoga. I was in the C division, it's in the lower half, but I'll explain that in a little while. But I went out and I hit a 48 on the front, and I was golfing terrible, and I was disgusted. And he turns to me and he goes, "What are you mad about?" And I said, I'm golfing like crap. Look at this. And he holds up his phone. He said, "Did you look at the score?" And I'm like, "What the heck are you talking about, a score?" He says, "On your phone is live scoring." And I look, and I'm in second place out of 8 guys with a 48 on the front. And I'm like, holy crap, I got a shot here. I could win. And I did. I went out in the back nine, hit a 40, finished with an 88, and I took first prize. And that was it.
That's what's great about the flights, Don. That is what is great about the flights, because people think when you're in C or D flight and you do throw a 50 out there in the front nine, in the C and D flight, anybody can fall apart at any given time. We know that, right, Don?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out there and the funny thing about it, people all the time, one of the first things when I meet new people, like I go to a golf course, and sometimes I actually do go by myself. So I do meet people, and I get hooked up with 3 guys, and a couple of them are seniors, and I present something to them, and right away they say, "Well, I'm not good enough to play competitive golf." No, you are. Trust me, you are. The second tournament I hit, when I started playing, I hit a 96 up at Turning Stone, and I actually won the C division with a 96. So trust me, you guys that are out there that are telling me, "Oh, I can't play competitive golf." You can play. If you can hit anything around 100, you can play in this tour.
Absolutely. So let's rewind, because a question popped up in my brain about the live scoring. I love the live scoring. I do. Sometimes when I'm playing hot, I don't like to look because I know I'm right up there. But when I'm playing like crap, that's when I look. I want to say, how far down am I? Because how far down am I? I say, okay, so I'm only 7, 8 strokes back. I'm still in this. So I have to ask, Don, are you a score watcher, or do you just play?
I kind of agree with you. Sometimes I am, but like you said, when I'm playing well, I just concentrate on playing. I don't want to know what's going on in the scoreboard because I can only play as good as I can play.
Yep.
But if I start watching the scoreboard, you just basically put pressure on yourself, and you try to do this or do that, and you shouldn't be doing that. You got to pay attention to what you're doing.
I hear you, man. I hear you 110%. So, all right, there's a lot of people that may be confused with the way the flights work. Why do you explain to the listeners about the handicap system, and from champ all the way up to D flight, how it works for these guys, and let them know that we really don't need an official gin. You just let us know how it works.
Right. Yeah. The 5 flights that we have, they're the same in both the regular tour and the senior tour. And it goes from the champ flight goes from a 0 handicap, which is a scratch golfer, up to like a 4. And then the A flight goes from a 4 to a 9. And then a B flight goes from a 9 to a 14. The C flight goes from a 14 to a 19. And if you're a 19 or above, you're in the D flight, D as in David. Now, you just have to stop and think about the flights. And people ask me all the time, what if I don't have a gin handicap? Well, a lot of guys have gin handicaps, but then some people don't. Well, did you ever play in a league where you might have had a handicap, or did you ever belong to a club where you might have had a handicap? Or in the worst case scenario, you could contact me. I could discuss with you, well, what do you normally hit when you go out? You tell me, well, I can hit around 90 or low 90s, or sometimes I can get an 80. Well, then you're probably in the D flight, but if you're coming at me and saying, well, I can hit mid 80s, well, then you're probably in the C flight, and everybody's different. It's just to keep in mind, we're not here to sandbag anybody and put them in a flight where they don't belong. They have rules that are governed out of the organization down in Hilton Head. And if you came to me and said, I normally hit 95s, and okay, you join the tour and you get in the D flight and you go out and you hit an 80, you're probably going to get disqualified, I would say.
I love that part of
anybody anybody in the D flight is not going to hit an 80. But
no,
it's part of the rules. I mean,
from what I heard, they watch this down in Hilton Head, correct? Like they watch what's going on.
After every tournament, I have an email that comes to me, and they basically tell me, look, your tournament went off great. I see no reason for any movements within your tournament. Everything looks good for the next one. So they're monitoring it, and it's not strictly the score that you get. Okay, you can play one course and the slope and the ratings are really hard, and you might score a 90. But you might go to another course that has a lower slope and a lower rating, and you could actually hit an 82. They're not necessarily going to penalize you for hitting an 82 because the slope and the rating are so much lower. Just for instance, we went out on a course here a couple of weeks ago. We played Freer Park there, and somebody in the C class actually hit an 80. But when you look at the
distance,
the yardages and the handicaps and everything else, we only played from 5,700 yards, and normally we're playing for 62. Now that being said, that was the Golfweek tour. In the senior tour, the difference between the regular tour and this tour is you're probably hitting from 400 to 500 yards closer. Mm-hmm. For instance, there's actually a graph on the website, and the website is the senioramateurgolftour.net, and Ant has a little QR for me. Put it up in a second. If you want to scan that QR code, that'll take you right to the site, right to the Upstate New York division of the site, and
absolutely.
And you can see all the information. It gives you the breakdown of all of the divisions. It gives you a breakdown of the distances that everybody tees off from. If you're in the D flight, you're teeing off from, I believe it is 56 to 5,800, which is very reasonable for a senior golfer.
Sure.
We
can leave that down. We'll leave that right up there for the listeners and while they're watching, just so it doesn't go down. But yeah, no, it's a lot like the Golfweek tour, and I know that just from hearing all about it. And listen, I know from experience the Golfweek tour is run amazingly. The live scoring is so fun. It's competitive golf. For us hackers, I say out there, listen, I always want to move up, but we all want competitive golf. It is great. But I want you to tell the listeners, I know it's a lot like the tour, but I want you to tell the listeners, do they have to play in every tournament? Is it like a league?
No, it's not. It's not at all like a league. Usually in leagues, I actually play in two leagues. I play at one at Schenectady Muni. I play in another league at Van Patten. And, you pay your money up front. I don't know, $200, $300, $400, whatever it is to play 18 weeks or whatever. So when you're not there, you feel like you're losing your money.
Yeah,
you really shouldn't be here because sometimes you go because you don't even want to play, but you got your money up already, so you go play. This is entirely different. You play one tournament at a time. You play whatever tournament you want to play. If you don't want to play, you don't have to. It's
I love the no commitment. No commitments. That's what I say.
Right. We're out
We
there
have,
for fun, and if
yep.
you just don't feel like playing this weekend, or better yet, if you don't like a course we're playing, geez, I never play. I'm not going to play that course. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
That's it.
Just play whatever course you want,
Love it, man. And I agree 100%. That's kind of why I'm in the Golfweek tour. I'm kind of looking for, I don't want to wish time away, but I always joke with you. I got 6 years, man. I got 6 years till I'm 50 and I will be in your tour. But I think by then we will have that tour gigantic. So,
Yeah.
that'll be a lot of fun. So tell me about the trophies and the money that can be won in your events, brother.
Well, each tournament that you play in, you can play. There's actually prize money that's handed out for each tournament. And there's trophies. The trophy goes to the winner of each division. They're not like huge, gigantic trophies. You're not going to win the Ryder Cup or anything like that, but they're reasonable trophies. And the best part about it is that you have side competitions. You can play in skins games. Everybody knows what the skins are, and the skins are only within your division, so that you're only playing against your D flight guys, the guys that have that handicap above 19, or the C flight guys that have that 9 to 14 handicap. The skins are divided into the divisions, and they also have what we call polies. Instead of doing a closest to the pin, this is a couple of things we've discussed in the past. The guys don't like closest to the pin because you could hit a really good shot and be 3 feet away from the cup, and somebody else drops one 2 foot 9 inches and you lose. And it just doesn't seem fair. So what we do is we take a pulley, and what a pulley is you literally take the pole out of the cup and you lay it down from the pin to your ball. If you're inside of that pulley range, which is usually about 6 feet, 7 feet, depending on the size of the pole, it's considered a pulley, and you can win the pole. So it's a lot of fun. You got side games going on. And of course, it's just, I tell you what, once you play one tournament, you're hooked.
It's addicting.
If you're any type of competitive golfer at all, and I've been in that Golfweek tour for 4 years now, and maybe I won once or twice during the year, if that many. There was 1 year I didn't even win anything, but it was just a competition of it. And the best part about it, I have to tell a little story. Last year, the last tournament of the season, it was a 2-day tournament. And in a 2-day tournament, it's really interesting because you play your first day, you just play. And the second day, you usually group the top 4 guys in the same foursome. So you know who you got to beat to win. And the 4 of us, I was actually in the top 4, and I went out on the second day. And it was so much fun because all of us were within 1 or 2 strokes of each other. One hole, this guy would par and we would bogey. Then another guy would par and bogey. Then I would par one and he'd bogey. And one of us took the lead. Then the other one took the lead. And it came right down to the very last hole. And all I had to do was par out, and I would have won. And I bogeyed the freaking hole, and somebody else parred it. And I came in third. But I even said to the guys when I got done, I said, look, guys, this is the most fun that I've ever had playing golf. I lost. I came in third, but it was
knowing you were there.
The intensity is just, you take on a different level. Because I played all the time with the guy, that your buddies call you up, you go out, the 4 of you go out and you play for a beer or $20 or something, and you hack the ball around and you lose. You don't care. It is what it is. But when you get in these tournaments, it takes on a whole different dimension. I'm telling you.
You're done. Listen, I'm in it. And that's why I'm in it. And that's why I try to make every event, because the addiction is real, my friend.
Yes, it is.
I love it. I love every second of it. So how much would it cost anybody that's not, I mean, they already know if they're part of the Golfweek tour that it costs a membership, but anybody new, why don't you tell them that it does cost a few bucks to join?
Yes, it does.
What's the cost?
What you have to do is you have to go on the site that we had up there before with the senior amateur tour.
Yep.
And you have to go to the join the tour icon. It's on the left-hand side. You have to fill out a registration form because they need to check your handicaps. They basically what they're doing is they're vetting you so that they put you in the right division so that you don't go out there and get DQ'd or something. And they don't want you in one deeper than you can handle. They don't want to put you in the B if you're only a C or a D. They want you where you can be competitive. So they kind of vet you. They check your handicaps or anything you have available, or they talk to me and I can talk to you about, what do you normally hit and what division you should be in. And there is a registration fee. It runs about $105 for a registration fee, and that's a one-time fee. You pay that once, it's good for the entire year. And that qualifies you for not only our local tournaments, but regional tournaments and other tournaments all across the country. Like I said, in the senior division, we have 27 chapters all across the country. So say, for instance, you want to go on vacation. You want to go, say we're going to Florida. You look it up. I think there's a chapter in Jacksonville. There's another one in Orlando. You can see there's a tournament that weekend in Orlando. You can go down there and play in a legitimate tournament. And the other nice thing, like I mentioned, is the regionals. The regionals are exceptional. Over the past 4 years, I've played at Harbortown. I played at TPC Scottsdale. I played at Innisbrook Copperhead. Just to mention a few, I played at Paynes Valley out in Missouri. There's some courses on the regional tours that are unbelievable. You could go play French Lick.
Amazing. Yep.
Sun Mountain out in California. There's just so many regionals out there. Like I said, if you go on vacation, 4 of us last year went to Arizona and we played Scottsdale. We played the TPC Scottsdale course, and it was incredible. The 4 of us flew out there. We rented a house through
Airbnb. Yeah.
And it was so much fun. We played 2 days in a tournament, and then we stayed an extra day, and we played a phenomenal course out there. And it was just, I'm telling you.
Let me interrupt. That is another thing that's great about these tours, and I tell everybody, is the 2 days. Oh my God, they are epic. What we do is we get the Airbnb. There's about 8 or 9 of us that'll throw in. Some of us, we don't care if we're sleeping on the floor. We're just there at an amazing golf course, and it brings us all together. And what's great about the 2 days is after day 1, everybody's talking about where we're at on the leaderboard, and we're all talking about what we got to do to move up the leaderboard. Some of us are saying, we're out of this thing, but we're just going to go tomorrow and try to get some skins. But those 2 days, man, those 2 days are so fun, and it brings the family together on those overnights. And it's great, man. Those regionals, one day I'll get to the regional, I went to nationals last year. Amazing. I'll be doing nationals again. Nationals will be a regular thing for me. But I want you to tell the listeners, how do they go on and register for these tournaments?
If you want to register for a tournament, you go on that site that we've been talking about, but you have to register. You have to sign up for the tour first. You have to get what they call your tour card or your tour ID number, because when you go to register for a tournament, they're going to ask for your ID number. And the only way you can get it is to register to join the tour. And once you have that, you can go on the site, and on the far left-hand side, there's a whole bunch of icons lined up, and you click on the schedule icon. The schedule icon will open up all of the tournaments that we have here in upstate New York. You can just go to any one you want to do, click on the register button, and the registration will take you. You have to fill out a registration form for that tournament. You don't have to fill out as much information as you do when you sign up for the tour, but they want to know your registration name. And once you fill one out, it automatically fills itself when you join, if you play in a second tournament. And keep in mind, people ask me all the time, how much does it cost for a tournament? Well, on average, it's about $130 to play in a tournament. Some are a little more, some are a little less, but it depends entirely on the cost of the club you're playing. If you're playing a high-end country club, or you're like we're going out to Turning Stone, it's probably about $170 to play Turning Stone. But other ones around here, some of them are 120, 130, but that includes it includes the golf, your cart, your range balls, your prize money, your trophies, online scoring, which we do have to pay for because there is an app that you have to, for that. And it covers administration fees and director fees. And like I always tell everybody, Anybody who's ever run a tournament knows how much work is involved. If you've never run one, most people don't realize how much work it takes to run one, to pulling off one of these tournaments, and let alone trying to do 12, 13, 14 of these in a year. It's crazy. It
Yeah,
really
man.
is.
I see it. That's why I don't want to do it. I just want to play in it, brother. I know it's a
I
lot of
hear you.
work. And I have
I hear you.
no problem paying what I pay. I understand how it works, buddy. But why don't you tell the listeners how much you do win when you do win that trophy or when you win that prize?
Yeah, it depends on how many are playing, but in my tour specifically, if I have 5 guys in a division that's playing, I will award the money that you invested into it, the $120, $130 that you put into it for winning with only 5 guys involved. If you get more than 6 guys, usually you end up paying 2 spots, first and second place. And if I ever get up to the point where I have a dozen guys or so, you could play 3 spots off. I mean, you don't always get that much money. For instance, the first tournament we only had 10 guys at it, but the B division had 5 guys. They got paid their $130 or $120 back. That's what it cost. And then I believe the C division had 3 guys. They got $80, the winner of that one. And the D division only had 2 guys. And the one guy that won actually got $60 back. So it depends on how many you have in a division. It basically boils down to you get about $20 a man for prize money. So it is what it is.
Yep. No, I listen. Again, it's a lot like the Golfweek tour, which again, I am totally fine with the extra fees. I don't mind at all, man. It's so much fun. Again, when you guys join, you'll see what I'm talking about. But there's certainly prize money, and try to catch those skins, because if you catch a skin, you're walking out of there basically with your golf paid for the day most of the time, right, Don?
Yeah, let me tell you a quick story again about my buddy Dan Giovanangelo. We went to a tournament. I can't remember where it was. It was down south somewhere. I can't remember which one it was right now. But I actually won the D division, and there wasn't too many guys at it. I think I got paid 120 or 140 bucks or something, and I only hit like a 92 or something, but I won my division. And Dan is in the B division, as in B as in boy. So he wins the B division, I'm sorry, he did not win the B division. He actually hit 100. He was golfing so bad it was pathetic. But you know what? He nailed one skin. I believe it was on the 17th hole, and he walked out of there with $180. He won more money golfing 100 than I did by winning my division. I couldn't believe it.
I see it a lot. It just happened it just happened last week at Highland. Sherman Banker, he took the only skin in D flight. I think it was $200. I mean,
Exactly.
like, come on, like, you don't know what you're gonna walk out of there with. It's great. I
mean,
love it.
The money is great, but it's the competition and the guys you meet and
The
just
camaraderie for sure.
Going back on what I said, the guys that I went to Arizona with last year, I did not know these guys 5 years ago. I didn't even know them. They were guys that I met on the tour that I become pretty good friends with, and we all decided let's go somewhere. And we looked on the schedule, and geez, let's go play TPC Scottsdale.
Yep.
Why not?
And now you guys are like family. I mean, I have some guys on tour the same way.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like I said before, you could go out with your guys and just putz around and play for a beer or something. It's a whole different ball. And I can't stress enough to guys, just try it once. And for anybody out there who does want to try it once, okay, they do offer a guest pass.
Okay.
Now what that means is you have to fill out a registration form, like I mentioned, but you don't have to pay the registration fee. You can actually enter a tournament, which means you have to pay that 120 or 130 or whatever it is to play in the tournament. Now, if you win the tournament, the winnings that come out of that tournament have to be used to pay your registration fee.
Yep.
All right. But if you don't win the tournament, you can't play in another one, but you actually have the experience of playing without putting up the $200 and some dollars. You only have to put up the $100, $130 or whatever to play that one tournament.
and you could at least see what it's all about. And
Right.
I almost guarantee you are coming back for more, because that's a brilliant move for the Golf Week family, or the Golf Week people, to do that, because
Yep. And
once you do
again,
it once, yeah,
I stress over and over again, you can only do it once. And
yep,
and if you did it this year, if you joined the tour and then 5 years later you decided to come back and play as a guest, you can't do that. They won't let
it'll
you do
bounce
that.
you. Yep, no,
They
that's
keep all the records down there. We just gotta, somebody down south must be doing some hanky panky or something, because I gotta, as a director, I got a special email about guest play. Make sure they have a what do you call it? An Excel spreadsheet with all of the guys that have ever been on your tour, and if they've ever played before. And
it's
trust me,
only
there's a few
one
guys that
time.
tried to sneak somebody in.
Wow.
And
But listen, Don, I don't think they'll need that, because honestly, I believe that once you play one time, you're hooked and you'll want to join the tour. That's my personal belief.
Absolutely,
That's
I
my
agree.
personal belief. But listen, the ultimate question: what if you're not 50 yet? What happens there? I mean,
Well, if you're not 50, we have that other tour that you and I have been speaking about, the Golfweek tour, the
yes,
Golfweek
sir.
Amateur Tour. That's for anybody over 14 years old. It's actually run by the same organization that runs the senior tour. And you can find that info even if you go on the senior site, the Senior Amateur Golf Tour. You can go up in the top right hand and it says Golfweek Amateur Tour. You can actually get into the Golfweek Amateur Tour. I'd highly recommend that you look into that. Like I said, it's been around for 4 years. I've been in it since day one. Like I said, I won the first tournament in the C division, and I've played, I don't even know how many I played. He has, the guy that runs it has, I don't know, 16 or 17 tournaments a year and a bunch of 2-day tournaments. It's incredible. You really, if you're under 50 and you want to play some golf, it's the thing to do. It really is.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
And the good thing about it is you can actually play in both tours.
Yeah.
Several of the guys that play in my tour play in that tour. In fact, I still do. I am in the senior tour, but I'm also in that tour. In fact, we're scheduled to play Turning Stone this weekend if the rain doesn't kill us. It's supposed to rain pretty bad on Saturday, but
I
we'll
saw
see.
that. I saw that. Unfortunately, Don, I got some Memorial Day plans that I have to keep the wife happy. But I won't be missing any more 2 days. That's for sure. That's for
I
sure,
hear
my
you.
friend. But yeah, no, it looks like it's going to be a great event out there. I did see the weather might be a little iffy, but I don't know if you really touched on this. What's the reason you really got into doing the senior tour? I know you played the Golf Week tour. Is there an
Yep.
inside reason why you really
Yeah,
wanted to do the senior? Go ahead.
I actually tell everybody this story all the time. I played the national tournament like you spoke of. At the end of the year, actually we didn't cover the part about the points. You actually earn points
Oh yeah.
at every tournament that we play. Okay. You have prize money and trophies and all that, but you also have points awarded to everybody that plays in the tournament. And the points get added up throughout the year. And usually at the end of the season, anybody that wins a division gets a free entry into next year's registration. So they don't have to pay that 105 or 110 or whatever it is. They get a free entry into the tour next year. But the good news is the top 5 in each division get to play in the national tournament down at Hilton Head that comes every October. Now, everybody that finishes in the top 5 can't always go to the national tournament. So usually about a month or so before the tournament, they open it up to anybody that's qualified. And when I say qualified, I believe you have to play a minimum of 5 tournaments during the year to establish your handicap so you can go down and play in this national tournament. Now, if you want to make some money, I've heard skins one guy got a lone skin in one division. Now, you got to keep in mind, you're playing against about 150 guys in every division. The guy got $2,500 for one skin.
Jesus.
That blew me away.
Talk about paying for your trip and more. My goodness. That'd be awesome. That'd be a nice payday.
Anyway,
yeah. Why'd you get into it though, Don?
I played in the national tournament the first year that I went. I couldn't play last year or 2 years ago. I had foot surgery. But then last year I played again, and by now I'm down there playing, and I'm playing it. I'm going to be 72 this year. And I'm playing against these guys that are, 25 years old, and they're cracking the ball out there 320 yards. And I'm lucky if I can get to 200. I'm struggling to hit the ball that far anymore. I used to be able to hit it, but yeah, catches up with it. But anyway, I'm down at the national tournament, and I went to speak to the director of the whole organization. And I said to him, I said, what can you do for seniors? I mean, you guys, we got to have some kind of, something to help us out here. He said, well, why don't you join a senior tour? And I looked at him and I said, where? I said, I haven't seen any senior tour. He said, well, where are you from? And I said, upstate New York. And he goes, well, there's one in Washington, D.C. And I looked at him. I said, you got to be kidding me.
It's a 7-hour drive.
Ride.
Yeah.
I says, I can't travel 6 hours to play in a golf tour. It's crazy. So he turns to me and he says, well, why don't you start one? And I'm like, what? And
there we
one
are.
thing led to another. So here we are. I started one. I just started this year, the initial tournament. And while we're on line here, I just want to put out a shout out. We had our first tournament a week and a half ago.
Yep. Tell me a little bit about it. I'm going to bring some pictures up.
The boys here. This is Francis Riley. He won the D division.
Yep.
And this is Neil Surgott. He won the C division. He's got a little trophy.
Nice. And who's this gentleman?
James McKinnon won the B division.
That is great.
We played at McGregor, and I just want to give a shout out to Mike Decker, who runs the shop up there at McGregor, and the people that works with him, from Dave at the desk to Amy in the office to everybody. I called Mike the day before the tournament because we had a boatload of rain that week, and I said to him, "Look, I'm concerned about the condition of the course. And, tonight, and this was Friday night, and we're having our tournament on Saturday, and we're supposed to get 2 inches of rain tonight. And we did get 2 inches of rain. But he said to me, Don, don't worry about a thing. This course is built on sand. It drains really well. And we were shocked. When we got there, the rain was over, but there was no standing water. The greens were incredible. The course was incredible. And I can't say enough. If anybody wants to go somewhere where the conditions are at their max, no matter how wet it gets, head up to McGregor, man. I'm telling you right now, those guys do a fantastic job up there.
Love it. I'm looking forward to the event on the Golfweek tour. We have an event there later this summer, Don. So I'm really looking forward to getting there. Listen, I'm going to give my pool guy a quick shout out. And then we're going to be back, and I'm going to just throw you a few random questions that I like to give all of my guests golf related. So we'll be right back, man.
Sounds good.
Is your swimming pool looking more like a pond these days? Don't sweat it. Swimming Pool Repair Experts has your back. Since 2000, Swimming Pool Repair Experts has been the trusted name for top-notch in-ground pool renovations across the greater capital region. From liner changes and pool bottom refinishing to plumbing repairs, opening, closings, and stunning upgrades like lighting, benches, stairs, and decks, Swimming Pool Repair Experts does it all. Their expert team is ready to bring your pool back to life so you can dive into some summer fun. Because what's better than taking a nice dip after a long round of golf? Get a hold of Jim over at Swimming Pool Repair Experts today at 518-858-2587. That's 518-858-2587. Or check his website out, swimmingpoolrepairexperts.com. And don't forget to tell Jim that you heard about him on the Upstate Golf Guys podcast for that extra discount. All right. So, Don, you could pick any 3 golfers, dead or alive, in your dream foursome to have a round with. Who is it going to be, my friend?
You got to start with Tiger. Come on.
Of course.
Well, just to meet the guy. I don't even have to golf with him.
Of course. Admire that, man. Admire that.
I don't know. That's a tough question. That's a really tough question.
That's why I ask it.
After Tiger, it's like
could be dead or alive. I mean, listen, we have some
Jack
great
Nicklaus,
ones out there.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you got to go for the best, but I wouldn't mind Rory McIlroy or
right.
That's a tough That's a really tough
A
question.
lot of people pick Bryson. They pick DeChambeau because they just want to see him
or
smash
even
it.
Phil Mickelson. I mean,
Sure.
you know,
So who is it? Who's the other two? You got
anybody's
Tiger.
I'd have to go with Phil because I kind of feel for the age thing that he's going through right
I
now.
love it. Okay, so
You
who's
know,
the fourth?
him and Tiger both, to be honest with you.
Let's go. So you have Tiger, Phil, yourself, and who's the fourth? Who are you capping that off with?
I'd have to go with the Golden Bear. Just
There you go, Jack.
For the top. Yeah,
Love it.
I'd have to
That's
go for
great.
him. He would have more stories. I'm telling you, these guys, I know they would all have more stories than you could possibly get in a round. But
Don, you would just listen, buddy. You would just sit there and admire it all and listen to these guys go back and forth, and that would be an amazing round, my friend. That would be an amazing round. All right, question number two. Right now, I know it always changes, especially us C&D golfers. Right now, what is your favorite club in your bag that you are not messing with?
My putter. Everybody knows that.
That's true.
I mean, I put it this way. Since I've not been able to hit the ball very far, my whole game has changed. It's my short game. And anybody that knows me knows. Everybody comes up to me and he said, if I had your short game, I'd be in the A class or A division. But from 100 yards in, but my putter's my best club by far.
Right.
And anybody that knows me knows that. Although I do hit the ball down the middle with the driver, but it don't go very far. It only goes about 180 right now, but it's always down the middle, which is good. That's the only reason I'm able to maintain in the C division is that I can still score, but because I don't get in trouble.
I played with you. I know all about it. I played with you. Listen, I from what I heard, the director of our tour, who is a champ A guy, has asked you questions about your short game to get some tips. Has he? Is that true? That Adam's asked you some questions?
A few guys have.
I love it. That's another thing I want to rewind back. That's another thing that's great about this tour, Don, is when you're standing around the greens and there's a whole bunch of guys, the champ guys, the A flight guys, they're happy to help you with something that you're working on. Are they not?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it's not always the champ flight and the A guys that can help.
You're right.
I'm in the C and I was in the D, and I might be in the D again before the end of the year, the way I'm playing this year.
But you have something. Everybody, you're right.
But I've been playing long enough that I can actually, every now and then I'll see somebody doing something and I'll walk up to them and I'll say, I got a question for you. But I won't tell them during the round, because that's the worst thing you can do is tell anybody to change their swing or change their putt or anything during the round, because it'll screw them all up. But at the end of the round, it'll be like, why, when you putt, do you stab at the ball? Like, give it a little shot? And no, you have to follow through. Let your club go to the hole. And a guy look at me and say, well, what are you talking about? And it's like, sometimes you can point something out to somebody and it's so simple. Or better yet, when somebody's hitting and all of a sudden they're topping the ball or sculling the ball, and it's like, do you realize you're swaying? What are you talking about? Well, you're rocking back and then you're coming forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're hitting the ball, you know.
Sometimes it just takes other eyes to see it.
Yeah, I've had guys do that to me. Guys of my caliber will say to me, do you realize you're picking your left foot off the ground? No, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I try to get more power, so I picked that foot up like a baseball player and try to hit harder. And that was screwing me all up. I couldn't hit a drive to save my life. And as soon as I planted that left foot down and kept it on the ground, boom.
You figured it out. All
And
right, Don. This is a good question. This is a good question. This is a first time for the Upstate Golf Guys podcast question, and it's a good one. All right. You could either do one of two things. You could either play Augusta National, a beautiful golf course we all know, or you could be standing there on the 18th hole of Augusta in 2019 watching Tiger Woods walk up for that epic 2019 victory. Which one are you choosing, my friend, to play it or to be watching that whole round?
I would have to say playing it. I really would. As much as I would really love to be there to watch Tiger do it, that's a one-time thing. But to be honest with you, playing it is a one-time thing, but that playing it would last for 4 or 5 hours.
Sure.
That one thing would last all of 20 minutes or whatever it would take for Tiger to walk up and finish his round. But now if you said to me, you could watch Tiger do his final round, and then you could have a private 20 minutes conversation with Tiger. That would be different.
Maybe
That
you're
would,
right. You're right. You're right.
that
That
would
adds
make it a little more even to where
a little
I might go
icing
for
on the
that one.
cake. Right. 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 No. 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 That's a good question. I was just thinking of that question off the top of my head, and geez, it would be tough for me to choose it. But I think I agree, Don. I'd have to play that course, man, because it's so hard to. We all know it's so hard to get on and play, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know.
There's actually a Golfweek tour in Augusta.
Yeah,
but it's not on that course.
No, oh, they'll never get on that course. Nobody
They
will
have
ever.
several courses down in that area that they play on.
I know, man. I know. It's just like it's when they say members only. From what I heard, even winners of the green jacket, they have to like call up. They have to basically make a tee time and then get okayed by one of the members, from what I believe, from what I read, which is crazy to me. Like the guys that won the green jacket still have to get the okay to go play there. Like it's pretty amazing, pretty insane to me. So you're right. Playing on there is so difficult, so hard. I think I would choose the same, my friend. I think I would choose the same. But Don, listen, tonight was a lot of fun. I'm glad you came on. I think you got all the information out there for the seniors. But one last time, I want you to tell everybody where they could find you and the website and what the Golfweek tour is all about.
The senior amateur tour is up there. The QR code. It's at senioramateurgolftour.net. That's the name of it. If you get on there, if you happen to go on the senioramateurtour.net, you're going to end up at the I'm going to say the corporate site. You literally have to go up in the icon at the top and choose
find a tour near me, right?
Find a tour near me and scroll down to Upstate New York. If you scan this QR code will take you right to the New York Upstate site. But if you happen to go on, like I said, the senioramateurgolftour.net, it's going to take you to the universal site for the entire country, and you have to choose Upstate New York to be able to do it. And the same thing if you're under 50 and you decide to go to the Golfweek tour, it's the same principle. You're going to end up going to the master site, I guess you could call it, that incorporates all of the regionals and all of the tours all across the country. So you have to scroll into the find a tour near me and get into Upstate New York.
Listen, sounds simple to me. Sounds simple. If you guys can
I got one other thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd like to add here.
Absolutely.
I have my second tournament here coming up is in 2 weeks, and it's at Queensbury Country Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Queensbury about 5 or 6 years ago, and I wasn't too crazy about the course. I just played it Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, I just played it yesterday, and I was shocked. And I ended up talking to one of the grounds guys while I was playing. We were waiting for a the hole to open up, and he stops and talks to it. And I'm talking to him, and he said, "Yeah," he says, "we got a new grounds crew in here about 2 years ago." He said, "They're doing a fantastic job." And I said, "You aren't kidding. These greens were immaculate."
That's
I was
awesome.
very, very impressed with the course and everything about it. They were out there mowing grass. They must have had 6 guys mowing grass out there yesterday.
I love to hear it.
It's a phenomenal course. So if anybody's out there just thinking, I don't know if I should or not, worst case scenario, you want to try one out, you want to come in as a guest, try this Queensbury Club. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
I love it. I love it. Sounds a lot like my favorite course, and I know I speak a lot of it, is Freer Park. Place was a dump. They had a new crew come in that it is absolutely incredible now. I'm sure you can say the same. What they did over there is amazing, and that's why I love to see it, what they did out there in Queensbury. If you could turn something from shit to gold, man, we love golf so much, and listen, we appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, man. And so listen, the QR code is here on for y'all. If you guys can all golf, you can certainly sign up for it. It's very simple. And Don just gave the simple directions. Piece of cake, guys. Piece of cake. So if you are even on the edge a little bit, go do a tryout, like he said, as a guest. And once you do, you will be signing up. I promise you. I promise you.
And I'll also add, if anybody's on the fence, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, my telephone number is there. I'll be the one that answered this phone. It's my cell phone. Don't be afraid to call if you got questions about this or questions about that. I've been walking guys through registrations and everything. And
I will say that I've known you for 2 years now, and Don is certainly a very easy person to talk to, and he will be very clear, and he'll be fair, very honest. So join the tour, guys. I think, listen, like I said, I'm part of the Golfweek tour. I don't want to wish my life away, but as soon as I turn 50, I am joining that senior tour for sure. So Don, listen, really appreciate you joining tonight. I hope this helps. I hope you grow, man, and I look forward to seeing you grow, man. I look forward to seeing you in
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate everything you've done here.
Absolutely, buddy. No problem. You're going to, let me close out. You're going to Turning Stone, I know, but are you going to play Airway Meadows in a couple of weeks? Is that in the plans? Possibly?
I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to Airways. I got some family obligation coming up that weekend.
That's fine. Sure. I'm just wondering when the next time I'm going to see you, my man. That's my plans, is to play Airways. But when I see you, buddy. You know what I mean? Yep. Awesome, man. We'll be around. Awesome. Absolutely. It was a pleasure, my friend. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of the Upstate Golf Guys podcast. Have a good day, everyone.
Birdie par, bogey fly, swing that club, watch it sky. Lombardi putter shine so clean. Golfing addicts chasing the green. Upstate Golf Guys, that's the vibe. Golf and laughs keep us alive. Tune in now, don't you see? Podcast legends, it's Anthony and me.